And O'Gorman are going to be in the blue, Norway in the black. I got to say, Jeff, what a team that we're seeing today, this #1 team in the world from Norway. I got to tell you, who's going to stop this team being 21 years old and 22 years old?
They have literally been the talk of the beach volleyball world for the last 6 months. They had a summer that nobody's had in decades, if ever. They won more money than anyone in the history of beach volleyball in 1 month, $234,000 of prize money. And as I'm sure we're going to highlight later, all the awards they won: most outstanding, most offensive.
Let me throw it out real quick. For Anders Mol, FIVB Best Blocker 2018, Best Offensive Player 2008, Most Improved Player 2018, Most Outstanding 2018. This kid's 21 years old. You got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Out of Norway, what are they doing and how are they doing it?
I think that's what USA Volleyball is going to spend the next 6 months in the offseason trying to figure out. How do you get to be 21 years old from Norway with no beaches and no sun for, 90% of the year and end up with the best players in the world?
Incredible. So here we have Canada against Norway. The first 2 points go to O'Gorman and Saxton. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a fairly close game. Don't think that the Canadians are just going to walk away, but here's a 21-year-old going up and jump serving and then coming up and blocking. And look at how big he is. I think he's going about 6'7", and that's a great hit by Ben Saxton down the line.
If you've seen those last 2 side outs by Saxton, they had to be absolutely perfect. That ball had to be high and outside the block and hit the outside of the line to get down clean. The Volley Vikings from Norway really shut the court down on defense. They serve you tough. They run deceptive defense. Christian in the back row is very deceptive and late and quick on his moves. And of course, Mol is just the force at the net right now.
There's a good swing by Grant O'Gorman from the right side. I got to call these guys down in Australia where they won a 2-star event, FIVB, in Manly Beach this year. They're up and coming. They've had some little bit of struggles, but Ben, he's at the net blocking that ball. Olympian, he's a little joust at the net. Somebody touched the net, and the point goes to the Canadians. And the Canadians are off to a pretty good lead.
We got a nice little look on the replay here at the joust. A lot of net action going to happen this game. Good press by Saxton. He held on long enough there. Created the net by the Norwegians. Fake on 2 by Anders. Oh, a little bit wide. The wind is changing again. We'll get to that in a second, but that set just kicks out too wide, downwind. And we get our first side switch of the game here with the Canadians, the lower seed, coming out strong with an early 4-2 lead.
I like the posture of O'Gorman staying in the cross court and digging that ball, and the set by Ben Saxton goes up and just gets drifted out to the pin with the wind, and the opportunity goes awry. So the Norway team wins that point and is down by 1, trailing 3-4 in set 1. I got to change that. There's no more games. It's all sets.
Game, set, match. Same stuff. O'Gorman had to go with the left hand on the inside set, and they got a break. Norwegians hit it out in transition.
There's one of the unforced errors that you're going to see on this team, and it's a bit of a waffle from his offside from the left side. Takes a swing and makes that mistake, Anders Mol. Again, I'll give him those mistakes. He's 21 years old.
It's amazing.
And then here's the 22, Mol Sorum. I have to say, what really impresses me about this team is how calm and cool and collected they are. They are just motoring like they've been playing together for 10 years. And athletically, they're just going to get better and better. And needless to say, it's a world of problems for the rest of the world.
Yeah, and not only will they get physically better, they're going to get emotionally and psychologically better too. I mean, that's why you see so many great players in their 30s and even into their early 40s, because this is such a mental game. You've got to be able to control your emotions. You've got to make quality decisions over and over and over in a blink of an eye. And you've got to just learn simple strategies and the flow of the game, and that doesn't come to you very early in your career, and that's why the Norwegians are such a surprise. They do handle themselves almost like old souls out there. Nice stuff. There it is by Mol, leaning one way to his right and coming back with his left hand for the dunk.
You know what I like about this team is that they serve aggressively. They're not passive in terms of serving. They're trying to put the team into a defensive posture, and there's an opportunity where the pass doesn't go in the perfect spot. O'Gorman gets trapped in the middle, and point goes to Norway with a great block out of the middle. Again, they go to Ben Saxton. They go and run this ball to the right side. Big boy against big boy. Here we get another opportunity again, the same thing. They run to a little slide outside.
Oh, chicken wing.
Chicken wing comes up. Ball gets set to the middle of the court, little jousty. Here we'll just give it back to me. I'll run a little flare outside, and I'll say good night.
What a great rally. Started with the chicken wing ding by Christian.
Just incredible volleyball by these guys, and I have to say, if you're thinking that this is any, look at how casual he does that. He just goes and jousts. He just says la-di-da, and then I'm going to go and hammer this thing cross court. I don't even need an approach.
Not many 21-year-old kids with that kind of poise on the world's greatest stage in our sport.
And here is the serve by Norway. He goes to a float serve this time, which actually is effective. He takes the ball from the left side, approaches, and tries to tee off Ben. He has to go and hit this ball over. Goes off the top of the tape. They do a little flare. Come on, you got to be kidding me. We're running ones, threes, fours, everything. How are you going to stop this team? How are you going to be quick enough to go and stop this? This reminds me of years ago down in Brazil, where we used to play, Sinjin and I, in the World Championships, that the players would go and move around that quick, but not this big.
Right.
You know, this is a big athlete taking that ball, and it's a flare set by a bump set. And more importantly, there's no communication. It's just, we're going to go and do this, and I feel like you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and we're going to make this all happen. It's just crazy.
Well, you alluded to it earlier. You're seeing the literal future of the sport, not only in these players from Norway, but you're seeing the future style of this sport. Beach sometimes leads indoor and sometimes it follows indoor. And what we're seeing in the last 5 years is a lot of teams running what looks like an indoor offense with quick sets in the middle, setter hitting the ball on two, real fast shoot sets out to the pin. Wow, that's got to be off the dome.
That one is up and over and out of the stadium, off the head. That's just a quick, hard hit.
That is.
And
all
here's
the way
the replay right here.
Huh?
Let's see how this ball goes in between, off of his head, and just follow this ball. Keep the eye on the ball. Keep the eye on the ball. It's somewhere going. It's gone. It's out of here.
That's down at the airport.
Yep.
You know, I can't talk enough about the future of the game. As you see another huge block, leaning one way, diving the other way by Mol. But this dynamic motion offense, running fast tempo sets, is it's the natural development of the game. It
is, but I'm going to go a little old school on you, Jeff, and since you're such a great coach for the U.S. teams, that I would have to say that somebody's got to learn how to put up a sky ball. Somebody's got to go and put up a sky ball. You put that ball all the way back to the back line, I got to tell you, these teams are not going to be running anything quick.
That helps break it down really quick. You see another back-to-back block here by Anders Mol. This is one of the reasons that he was the most outstanding player on the FIVB Tour this season, as well as best blocker. Hopefully we get some shots of the block from the rear camera angle. I really have a preference as a coach to watch the game from the baseline once in a while so that you can see the left-right moves off the block, and you're going to see Anders really taking up a lot of lateral direction while he
Here's
presses.
Grant O'Gorman on my note going to the sky ball. Okay, I like it. You got to try to do something different. Just go step back a couple more, and work on that skill about just pumping it up in the air. There's an old-time player that I won the Manhattan Open with, Jim Mingus. Jim Mingus to this day puts up sky balls that it just amazes me that people just can't handle and they can't put away. Neil will say he's playing an old man game right now, but at the same time, it's something that I think that should come back in the game. And I make a joke about it, but the truth is that you got to get these players back to the back line. It's a shorter court than the indoor court, by 1.5 feet by the end lines and by 1 foot by the sidelines. So by knowing that, it's still a factor of getting the player back deep, or you're going to have to jump serve awfully well to the lines to create a bit of effect.
Again, like you see in the indoor game right now, right? A lot of risk taken at the service line to get people out of system with their offense. We're getting a nice look at the timeout here of the Volley Vikings.
Yep.
Relaxing with a nice 3-point lead.
Yep, Sorum and Mol. The one thing, again, that impresses me so much is that at their age, what they and how they act is just, it's beyond me. I had to put in years and years and years to get to that point. Now, I was pretty damn good at that age, okay? And I won my first Manhattan Open at 20 years of age, okay? So I could be kind of matched up with these guys, but I certainly didn't act and look like these guys.
Right, right. They're so poised. Nice dig by the Canadians. Scooped right back up by Sorum, who tees off cross court. Actually apologizes to the line judge because he hit such a flat ball. It bounced up and ripped him in the gut. We're going to take a nice look on the defense here.
It's a good up by Gorman. He chops the ball cross court, but here we go. How do you go and dive for a ball and then get up and just blast it cross court with just nobody? Like, it seems like nobody's up. As Gorman goes touche to you, back at you.
I like that replay because you could see, as you mentioned, that Sorum had to lay out there and had absolutely no approach when he dug that cut shot. And all he could do was a quick little step close, and he teed off on that ball. And that's something that I've been really trying to teach the younger players in our club system and at the college level, that you don't always need a giant approach. As long as you have a good idea that you want to hit the ball, and you
gather
get a big
yourself.
double arm lift and gather, you can still take a rip with just 2 steps.
Yeah. Here's a little pokey set to Ben Saxton. There's a one-arm dig. These guys are all over the place. They chop the ball to the middle of the court. O'Gorman takes a swing on the right side. No, he shoots the ball to the line, net violation on the non-dominant blocker. And he's just like going, I am so sorry, partner. I am so sorry. You send me up one time and I make a mistake. I got to stay out of the net.
He netted with his hat. He netted with his hat.
Exactly.
He's like, get me out of here. This isn't my job.
Yep. Ben Saxton from Canada, back to serve.
Goes long, a little bit downwind.
You know, I got to say that all of a sudden, you know, the way these guys side out and the way they handle the ball, this puts pressure on the opposing team, not only in reception, but in serving. They feel that they need to do something and make something happen quickly. And that's where a lot of errors are being made. Look at this shoot set outside, a little cover on the outside, little spinny on the outside to the thing. What ball control are we watching here? Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little joust. Keep it going. Little back flippy, and that could be it. Yep, point goes to Norway. Boy.
Yeah, what about the effort right now on defense?
Yeah, this is a great view from here. How about the shoot on the outside, a little cover again, a little spinny up on the outside, gets chopped. How about how the defensive player just sitting there, just like la-di-da, like nothing's easy. I'm gonna go to the right, I'm gonna go to the left. This is just too easy. I mean, and the footwork. Look at the Norway, how the defensive players, their feet move from side to side. It's just effortless.
I think, you know, somewhere around 15, 20 years ago, a lot of these smaller countries, federations made the decision that, hey, you know what, I don't know if we're ever going to get 12 to 15 men's players together and qualify to the Olympic Games. We don't have that many elite indoor players in our country. So why don't we just fund 2 to 4 players and see if we've got 4 great players or 2 great players in our country and get 1 or 2 shots at the Olympic Games for this. And countries like Norway are really getting the payoff from investing into their beach programs.
You know, I got to just share this with you, you know, and a lot of people don't know it, but Sinjin and I essentially got the sport in the Olympic Games. We were the #1 team for about 11 years. We knew Ruben Acosta, which was the president of the FIVB. We knew the president of the International IOC, and they were good friends, and we basically came to them and said, listen, we want to have 48 players participate in the Olympic Games with beach volleyball. I knew right there and then that this sport would explode because now we have over 220 countries that are playing the game of beach volleyball. And you know what I really wanted to see? I wanted to see all of them do what I did. Get some shorts on, be in the sun, know how it feels connected to the earth, And I have to say, it brings tears to my eyes to see all this is what's happening 20 years later.
You guys were beyond instrumental in the growth. You guys were the growth for a long time, spreading this game around the world.
There's a lucky little chop down the line by Ben Saxton inside of Mol down the line. And again, you know, nothing's going to go perfect for this team, but certainly they're just doing things so correctly that they are got advantages. Here's the second sky ball of the game. Let's see how effective this is. It's a good pass, nice set. We'll just tee off on that ball. Well, we got to go and send that ball out a little further back.
That was a really nice sky ball, though.
Yeah.
Definitely, at bare minimum, does break up the rhythm of the side-out player.
Yeah.
Anders Mol. Back to serve from Norway. Good little middle dart. And another stuff. It's amazing to be, like you said, there's just so many great things and superlatives that we can attribute to this Norway team. They're so poised, they're so mature, they're so technically sound. I mean, this ball could be a tie or joust, but instead he meets the ball at the exact right time, holds his hands there, and throws it off his face. He
doesn't guess one way or the other. He just says, Imano, Imano, and we're going to just do this. And then sure enough, we're just going to go low and tight. There's no touch. Hit out of bounds. Another point goes to Norway. Norway up point set, first set up 20-12 in a kind of a runaway.
Set point. Mol with the pull and the chip off the top. Saxton's going to have a chance to shovel. Mol says, I'll take it on one. And just like indoor volleyball, you see so often the giant overpass is hit out of bounds. It's
yeah,
really
you know
hard
what?
to time.
And athletically, you know what they could do on that play, and they're going to probably hopefully they're going to hear what I had to say, is maybe they jump set that ball to the second ball, and then it's wide open, because it's, you know how this evolution of the game is changing, and that is, but that's a tough ball to put away, especially a ball that's coming over that high to time it and put that ball away.
I hope someone takes your challenge. I really want to see that.
That jump set?
Jump set the overpass.
Absolutely.
I love it.
We used to do that indoors, man, hopping them up like jumping jacks.
Sorum swinging for the first set. Probably going to get another chance here with the free ball.
Oh, Gorham's going to get another shot at it. Sure enough. Little ball up, little tight set, little jousty, covered, roofed. And the first game goes to Norway, and really kind of a one-sided game.
Mol is gnarly.
It's pretty amazing. And again,
he doesn't tie every joust. He wins every joust. You put that ball close to net, and it is over. We're going to get a quick look here at a little shot and a tight set, which you never, ever want to do against Anders Mol.
Especially trying to attack it with your left hand.
Get a little quick look at the timeout. 21-13. Wow, Norway just ran away with that. Looked like their offense kind of got them going. They really started running some fun stuff, some dynamic stuff on offense, and that keyed their defense in, don't you think?
Yes, it did. They're a very scary team right now. What a great event we're having out here at the platform 1440, and needless to say, I'm Jeff Elzina's here, Randy Stokos here. We've got Hovland and Dodd calling in it. We've got St. John Smith, my partner of 11 years, King of the Beach, still out here going and commentating with all of us. We've had a great time. The event has been just spectacular, I have to say. This is a different concept, a different idea in regards to all the different opportunities that our people have out here. Not only are they seeing that they're basically having the chance to go and see beach volleyball at its highest level, but you've got all these different things going on. And then we come into the evening. Then we come into the music aspect of things where the concert happens and everything. So it's just absolutely crazy. And what a great idea with the aspect of Kerry Walsh and Casey Jennings putting this whole thing together. And this is the first of 4 events for Platform 1440. This is in San Jose, California. We're going to be in the middle of October in Las Vegas. And which is going to be the first qualifying event for the FIVB, where you're going to have really all the big dogs. The difference here, this has been an invitational, and we've had teams that have been put together from, say, 1 players from Brazil, 1 teams from the United States, like Solberg and Casey Jennings. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty interesting. It's you know, the idea that this game should be played by anyone from anywhere is kind of a new thing recently, because way back in the day, anyone play with anyone, but as soon as it became an Olympic sport, you had to, you know, find the best player from your country to play with, and everybody's been fighting to find this one, you know, stud in your country. But this is pretty cool, because this is just, you know, you can have anyone play with anyone from any country. And I think people used to talk about that 5-10 years ago, like, hey, what if you got Phil Dahlhauser with Emmanuel or something like that?
Exactly.
You know, the best digger in the world and the best blocker in the world from different countries, and put them together. So this is a pretty neat format to give that opportunity to some players.
It's a little bit like the tennis with the tennis doubles, and it's nice. It's nice to see. It's kind of breaking down the wall. It's giving the opportunity for the players not only to play with, somebody that they might feel like is a better player or have a better opportunity to do better, but then you have the reverse aspect things of it. So you're playing with a great player from a different country, and now you have to go back to country versus country, and you're now maybe not playing with the best player.
That is kind of interesting. It's pretty cool, though, in the big picture, just that you're ultimately going to be sharing your experience with someone from a different country, right? You might have a coach from USA working with a foreign player here, and vice versa. There's going to be some foreign coaches on this tour. They're going to help out players from other countries. So just sharing different knowledge that you may not get in your country or from your federation is a pretty neat thing to ultimately grow the game in a bigger way.
Yeah, so you might think like in the future there might be country versus country, but then a lot of events like this with players are just going to pair up with whoever they want to play with to make the sport even greater than it is.
Absolutely. We got a quick look back at the court for you guys, and another stuff block by Mol. I have this feeling we're going to say that a lot. I like, Randy, just to continue with that a little bit more, is another stuff block back-to-back. This guy's unbelievable. I really like the freshness and the reminder that we should not view this game as an Olympic sport. It is also an Olympic sport, but it's also a lifestyle professional sport, you know. And we get really caught up with the country versus country stuff, sometimes waiting for 4 years to be great. And we can be great every single day, every single event, and on multiple tours here in the United States. So I love this idea.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting point that you're bringing up, because I know Casey and Pedro are very good friends off the court and have been for a long time. They've won a couple of events, lesser events together, and it gives them the opportunity to have that fun and have friendship and to compete with each other. Just a super time in the sport right now, and I'm just so pleased to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Norway team is amazing. There's a long history, as you well know, of Norwegian good service. As you mentioned earlier, they don't just block and defend well or side out well. They're great servers, and they go for it. And you know, you can remember all the guys in Norway's history who are phenomenal servers. Some of the best servers, arguably, in the world in the history of the sport. Jan Kvalheim, who used to play with Bjorn Maside.
We used to play him. We never lost to him.
Jan had the strongest serve in the world for decades, I think, at 105, 106 kilometers. Yeah. And then Vegard Høydalen came as Norway #2 behind them, a few years younger than Kvalheim and Maside, and he and his partner would just absolutely bury balls every time from the service line too. Yeah. And I remember during that change of the rules from 99 and 2000 to 2001, when the court got smaller, talking to those guys, and all the Americans had backed off their serve, like, well, I just don't want to serve long, I don't want to miss serves, the court's so much smaller now. And those guys just looked at me like I was an alien from outer space, like, what do you mean? Yeah. You still have to rip your serve. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to experiment with backing up 2 meters and then toss and just rip the exact same serve we always have. And I love that mentality of just going for it.
It's pretty amazing. I had the opportunity to play in Hawaii, in Honolulu, at the Outrigger Canoe Club that had the original court. That was the short court. And the only reason why that was the short court, not the baby court, the short court, as they play today, is because they just didn't have the area for the bigger court. So we used to go over there and practice on that thing, and it used to be such a challenge to hit balls in the court because of that difference of the length of the court. It wasn't so much the width, but it was certainly the length, and it made you a better player.
I can still remember Stanford alum Canyon Seaman. I can hear his voice. I can't believe the court is shorter. I'm missing everything long. Yeah, he didn't like that too much.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously a psychological thing because you can, as a human being, you can make yourself do anything. And there's a great play by Ben with a retreating blocker missing that play off the block.
A rare pull by Anders Mol. I'm surprised that he even pulled off, and I love that he was frustrated because I want to keep him back on that net. I want to see 5 more stuffs.
Yeah, exactly. Are you a better digger or are you a better blocker? Stay at the net.
He's truly incredible at the net. I haven't seen stuff like this since Phil Dahlhauser.
No doubt.
In his prime.
No, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Phil. Phil is an incredible player and really, truly one of the best in the world. But this 21-year-old has got a new blueprint.
He dives a lot more than Phil. Phil, for you guys listening out there, if you want to get a little technical, Phil typically likes to put his head lined up right on the ball and then vary the width of his spread on his block. But what we see from Mol a lot is a lot more movement. He likes to lean one way and dive the other way, like Mark Williams or Mark Whitmarsh used to, like Randy Stoklos used to. Lean one way and load and get them baited one way and go the other. And he's fantastic at timing that.
Yeah, no, and at 6'7" with the length of arms that he has, it's just an unbelievable sight to see. So back to serve. Canada down by 3 in a must-win situation, a little roll by O'Gorman. They go and shoot a ball to the outside. They just make it look so easy, and it's so calm. There's just nothing hurried. There's nothing rushed. And again, I'm so sorry that you guys hearing us, we have to reiterate this over and over again, but it's a sight to see. You know, and this is what we're going to be seeing for years to come. And hopefully there's going to be somebody else in the world that's going to be able to compete with this team because, you know, when they're running flares and hitting the ball cross court at 3-foot line, you kind of wonder, like, who is out there?
That was unbelievable.
Who is out there? Who is out there? Who wants to compete against these guys?
I love what we just saw there was 2 back-to-back plays where they ran the shoot set, right? And in the first shoot set, the defender has to come really, really sharp and say, uh-oh, because he's wide and fast, it's going to come sharp. And you had the simplest line shot ever. But then on this second play, which we're going to take a quick look at, he certainly does it. He just says, I want the wide one, and I'm going to hit it really, really sharp. We're going to get the dig here by Norway, run the fast push set to outside, and that opens up the sharp. He just unloaded on that on the 4-foot line.
It's just incredible. You know, it's so funny. If there's not a block, can he hit that angle like that? I know he can, but it's just there's a block up.
Yeah.
You know, and so obviously he's being forced one way or the other. There are our referees and our scoremen and scorewomen. They are doing a fine job here at platform 1440. Look at, she puts up the number 2, which means the number 2 server is up to serve, and that means that there's big trouble with Mol actually just going to a. That's Anders, excuse me. And now here's another opportunity. Ball gets set outside the antenna. Point goes to Norway. Norway up 14-8. Again, kind of controlling this game right now. First game was won by Norway. Sorum and Mol 21-13, and they're up 14-8. Here's a back flare. Got away with it, chopped it off the net. And
that's probably why Anders is going to a floater. He doesn't feel like he needs to jump serve right now with this big of a lead. There's that little flare coming out as a back, a back shoot set.
I guess you got to move the blocker, and that's what they're doing. They're setting that ball one way or the other. You know, also, too, the difference of these games today and the games in the past is the style of the ball. The ball is basically an easier ball to set.
Yeah.
It's not as heavy as the leather Spalding ball that we used to have, and that made a lot of players back away from using their hands, so they couldn't run any of that stuff. And again, obviously the court was bigger and the space was bigger, so the game's a whole lot different. And you know, just thinking about what's going on here today, look at Norway went up by a bunch and they give up a couple here, and there's going to be these lapses.
Sure.
These things are going to happen to them. They're a young team. They're up and they're taking chances. They're trying to do some other things, but again, odds are they're going to side out this one play. And it's a good serve.
Got him at a little bit of a lull.
Yep, 3 points in a row.
The offense that they're running here has been Around, like you said, you guys are running a long time ago. We tried to make it a focal point of the USA program. I've been coaching the Elite Development Program, which is selecting the best players possible right after their college years, all the way up to about 28 years old, and giving them free training. USA Volleyball has funded this. I worked this program as the head coach with Mike Dodd for a few years. I was also with Jason Lockhead from New Zealand. I hired Jeff Nygaard for a couple years, and Jeff Conover was in there from the start as well. He used to coach Kessie and Ross on the women's side. But we formalized this offense, and we called it just a USA offense, red, white, and blue. A blue was a super fast shoot to the pin, a white was a hanging ball out to the pin, and a red was a low, quick middle ball. And most of our players in the US have been exposed to this in one way or another over the last 4 or 5 years, but it's how often they're willing to use it and try it. You have to have the pass in the right position, and you have to have the setter with really, really good hands and show a certain amount of deception and accuracy. But the Norwegians today are showing what it can look like when you really clean that up and make the right decision with your speed offense.
I think the advantage for the Norwegians right here is their capability of passing the ball. Their passing is just superb. And when all of a sudden now they go to the jump serve and put them in a defensive posture, the Canadians right here. Now, Gorman taking a little time. Let's see if they are able to go and pass the ball correctly in the good spot. They goes to a float serve. And again, this ball gets passed to the middle. It's not. It's a bit of a wipe off, but a net violation right there. And obviously, they contacted each other under the net a little bit.
I was about to say Mol is actually human. He lost a joust.
I hope he didn't. O'Gorman didn't hurt this ball or get hurt on this play. Let's see how O'Gorman attacks the ball and see what kind of contact happens. Maybe he comes down and twists his ankle almost. Oh God, got kicked a little in the safe spot right there, or the
I think we had contact with the jewels.
Yep.
Dropped him for a bit.
Yeah.
He's got to walk that off.
But what is that? Is that incidental contact?
On a joust, sometimes it makes your body jackknife. So what are you going to do?
So, I mean, is that call should go the other way? I don't get it. But
maybe there's a little net, micro net with that too.
Yep.
Here's a good pass. Sets up the options. Standard bump set, and Mol just bounces it right over the stadium wall.
I'm sorry, we kind of heard the little rumble from that last hit up in the booth here. It's unbelievable. It's the compression of that ball. There's a thud in there that might have been on the seismic Richter scale there.
That's just what you alluded to earlier. You can't serve this team easily, or that happens. And so it forces you to take risk with your serve, and you end up missing some.
And then there's Ben trying to do the same thing, going, you know, if you can hit the ball, I can hit the ball, but there's nowhere in a comparison. You just got to play your own game, try to not even, you know, move the ball around. And look at the fake cross court, and now he just thumps that ball. That was a better swing right there, I guess, the second opportunity.
That's a good point you make, and with the Ryder Cup going on this weekend, it makes me think of golf. You know, Tiger winning the event last weekend. Tiger was paired with Rory McIlroy, and all I was thinking when I heard that pairing was, uh-oh, Tiger's now going to start trying to hit the ball as far as Rory, because Rory's #1 in driving distance, 320 yards. And what Tiger has done in his comeback is played a lot more control game. And that relates here because you can't try to outmatch your opponent at what they're great at. You got to do what you're great at, right? Play your game and own your game and stay focused on your side.
And more importantly with that, I thought that the Woods was playing against with, give me the name, who is he playing in the final group with?
Oh, Rose was the guy who ended up winning it.
Well, he won the FedEx, but he played in the final group. Woods played against, you just brought up his name, Rory. And Rory on Saturday goes, I really want to, I've been looking forward to this chance and going and talking about it. Well, when you start to talk about it, that is that's the death. That's
how you shoot
nail
4
in the
over
coffin.
on a Sunday.
That's exactly, because you can't talk and walk at the same time, and doing that is just, it was obviously, hopefully something that he can remember. But back to volleyball and back to the platform 1440, as we got a little sidetracked with that Woods win last week, was an exciting one. We're comparing excellence, and the excellence is happening right here with the team from Norway of Sorum and Mol. And they've got a commanding lead here. Timeout goes to the Canadians, and obviously up by 5. winning the first game 21-13, 2015. And let's look at a couple of the highlights, what's happened so far in this game. Call it for me, Jeff.
Sure. I used to call this the Phil Jackson timeout. It's a little bit of like needling your opponent. You're out. You're down by 5, but we're just going to burn this timeout anyway. Phil Jackson used to love doing that to teams, just to say, I've still got control.
Yeah. What are you calling? Are you saying that Sorum and Mol calling the timeout?
Right.
I think it's Canada called that timeout. But here's the replay. There's a good swing down the line.
There was the
one
dome
off the
job.
head. Yep.
Going to see it again.
Yep.
Oh, look at this ball.
Yeah, and I can't even tell you where the ball goes. Here's another great play right there on a dig. There's been some fine play, but all the really strong points have been going to Norway.
Yeah.
Because Norway's up there just controlling the net.
We don't have a statistician with us, but boy, there's a lot of blocks.
Sure
Match
is.
point serve by Mol and Sorum. Another tight set into the hornet's nest. Gets scooped and uncontrolled. Canada lives to fight for another point.
You know, and you gotta love that. You know, for being able to come out here and side out in one last play rather than just giving it up, like thinking that this game is completely over.
Especially on a joust with a guy who's got 10 blocks.
The game's never over until it's over, and it could be, right?
Sorum on the outside, standard up and down set.
Over.
Throws a dart down the middle. Norway takes it 21-13, 21-16.
Yeah, look at them having fun, and it was funny. They had Gorman blocking that last play, and Ben Saxton was trying to play some defense going, there's no way we can beat this team right now.
Nothing.
But what an exciting game, and here's match point for the platform 1440 against the #1 team in the world, and here's point game once again. They go to an easy ball cross court. I like how he just was so poised and hits that ball cross court and goes, no way that he's going to be able to dig
He
that
knew
ball.
the blocker was back there digging, so he just threw his dart. Well, Randy, it's been awesome working the last 2 games with you. I am going to take a stroll down the path here and go work on the featured court for a little bit. And I'm hoping I can hook up and call some more matches with you tomorrow and sub in for St. John here.
Sounds good.
It's been fantastic. A great match here. One of the top teams in the world, #1 FIVB team of Norway, taking down Canada 21-13, 21-16. We move on to women's action and Carrie Walsh-Jennings here on Stadium Court. I'm Jeff Alzina, moving over to the feature court, and enjoy your afternoon with Randy Stokos.